Hi, Spanish Fork. If you're looking for a quick meal and want to use your juicy red garden tomatoes, our next show is just for you. The only real cooking here is to boil up your pasta. Fresh garden pasta is coming up today on Cooking Made Easy with June, brought to you by Macy's, the happy shopping store in Spanish Fork. Hello everyone, welcome to Cooking Made Easy with June. Today is so special because I am featuring my husband's garden tomatoes. And I know a lot of you already have a lot of tomatoes. And garden tomatoes are the best. I don't love tomatoes, but I love fresh garden tomatoes. They're so sweet. Especially this year, we had a lot of rain and sunshine. I'm so excited. But let's get going because I'm going to first make this really delightful garden salad pasta. It's so easy. Quick meal, serve it with some bread, oh my gosh. Anyway, so I'm gonna start out by making the sauce, or the marinade for the tomatoes. All we need, of course, is garlic. You have to have garlic in Italian food, right? And so we start out with about 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. Okay. Sometimes I pull them apart and sometimes I like to cut the ends first. And then we just mince some garlic together. I feel like garlic is like a universal overall everywhere. Everybody uses garlic, especially Asian food, Italian food, Mexican food. I wonder why, how that happens. I wonder if garlic is just there all the time. Okay, for everywhere. It grows everywhere. I guess you can put it in, and it's so cheap. All right, you can put it in a little pot. I always wondered that. I'm trying to think, is there a food that doesn't require garlic? I mean, in what country does not require garlic? If you guys know, share that with us. We'd love to hear. I haven't really thought much about it until now. Okay, so we just mince a few cloves of garlic. I'll just toss it into my little bowl to add the sauce together. And then this calls for a half cup of olive oil. I'm gonna grab a spatula. So this is a half cup of olive oil. And of course, there are differences in olive oil. I always get the extra virgin olive oil. Get all the flavor in there. It's a little bit stronger flavor, but I really like it. And then we have some basil leaves. This is the thing. We need like 60 large leaves. And so approximately, if you don't have as much, you know, it still goes a long way. So I'm going to mince up. I'm going to save a few leaves. I'm going to save just a few for garnish right there. So there's really no rhyme or reason how I do the leaves. If they're big enough where you can layer them, you can. And I'm not even stressed about a few little stems. So it's all good. So I like to just kind of put the little ones in the middle, and we're going to roll it up. And I wish you were here to smell this beautiful aroma. Sometimes, even though I don't need basil leaves, I love to just have the plant around. And you can just smell it all over the house, all over the kitchen. I think they even make like essential oils where you can smell your house with basil. And that's all really. Just long slice it and chop it up. It's going to look lovely in this dish. So, oh, don't want to waste any basil. Okay. So basil, olive oil. It's almost like we're making just a really classic salad, pasta. Okay, let's see. We also need a half teaspoon of crushed red pepper and a teaspoon of salt, and then black pepper also. So I've got my teaspoon of salt. And I forgot to change that. This is really, it doesn't matter what kind. This is groundly coarse. That was coarse salt. About a half of pepper and a half teaspoon of crushed pepper flakes to add a tiny bit of spice in there. Okay, that's just it. That's the sauce, the marinade. Do you see this? So just stir that together. and you have this dressing, marinade, whatever you want to call it. Okay, set that aside. Now we go to the tomatoes. Oh, yummy. Okay, look at this. Oh my goodness. Now, you can use all cherry tomatoes and it looks perfectly peachy and beautiful. However, I just can't not put beautiful red garden tomatoes. So I'm going to start by cutting some of these beautiful, not perfect, but yummy, delicious, fresh tomatoes. And you want to cook the ones that's really ripe so you don't waste it. So I'm just going to like cut off, well, let's do it this way. I'm just going to cut off the little bad part. I don't like to waste any of it. So we just cut that off. And if you see it later when you start chopping it, and you don't need to peel it, it's gonna be so good. Look at that. Oh my goodness, you guys. I just slice it and chop it into about bite size. I'm going to move my pan over here because this is where, so you're gonna use the bowl that you're going to toss your dressing and marinate it, and then you're going to just throw in your marinade and your pasta at the end. So I just take it, and it doesn't really, there's no specific way, so I like to make it bite size. So you don't have to use cherry tomatoes either. You can just use anything you have. The only thing is, I don't think the Roma tomatoes, you know how it's more firm? I don't think it has as much flavor. Because most of the time I like to use the Roma tomatoes for these salsas because it's so firm and it holds really well and there's a really thin skin. So let me do a couple more of these, and then we'll move on to the cherry tomatoes. Oh, okay, I got to get that bottom out there. But gosh, oh, you guys, look how juicy that is. I have to, This is like candy. This is when somebody always wonders, is this a fruit or what is this? Some people say tomato is a fruit because it has seeds. Oh, it's so sweet. Gosh, so excited for this salad. And sometimes, you know, the fresh tomato has something in there and I just cut that out. A little flaw, delicious flaw. I think I'm going to do just one more of the garden tomatoes, and then, oh, that's this one. And then I'll go into the cherry tomatoes. So in the South, tomatoes, oh my gosh, it's a staple. You can have tomatoes with grilled cheese, you know, tomato grilled cheese sandwich. You can have just fresh tomatoes as part of your side. You slice it up and add a little pepper and salt. Okay, so now I'm just gonna move on to these cherry tomatoes. So what you do with the cherry tomatoes, I just like to cut it like lengthwise, and if it's more round, I just do it, this one's a little bit more round, I just do it lengthwise, and it just looks like a pretty little bite there, okay? And that's all I do. So let's cut these all up. All right, we're almost done here. Once you get going in the pace, you can just, it doesn't take too long, but it does require like 4 cups of tomatoes, approximately. So it doesn't matter if it's approximate. Okay, so that's a really juicy tomato. So excited. All right, I'm gonna just, let me pull this aside, and we'll just toss the sauce into it. And stir it again. Make sure you get all of that in there. Of course, you know, this is approximate. If you love more flavor, you want to add a little bit more pepper. Of course, after you toss everything together, you can taste it, and you can add, the individuals can add more of their own salt and pepper or whatever they would like. And I would say that, you know what, if your tomatoes aren't that sweet, just add like maybe a couple tablespoons of honey, and it would still be great if you would like to make this like when you don't have sweet tomatoes with you. Okay, so that's it. So I'm just going to marinate it, and that you keep it at room temperature. We'll put a piece of plastic over it and let it sit for about 3 to 4 hours. And so we're going to do that, and then I'm going to take a break now. we'll set this aside, and when you come back, we're gonna make a quick garlic bread and start boiling up the pasta. So come back. Welcome back. So I'm gonna make a quick garlic bread here. It's a loaf of pre-made bread. Oh wait, let me explain to you. So when you boil, I like to add a little olive oil to our pot, and then the salt will help it boil a little faster. And of course you need to cover it. So I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil. Adds an extra flavor to your pasta. And then my salt is right here. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt just to add also flavor, and it helps it boil a little more. So I'm gonna cover it, let it boil. And then what I like to do for my garlic bread, I like to start out with real butter. And I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil, maybe like 3 or 4 tablespoons. And then we're going to add fresh garlic. Well, actually, you know, sometimes you're in a hurry, you don't add fresh garlic is good with it. But I think what I'll do, oh well, never mind. Let's just add garlic, and I left my knife over here. So let me get a knife. I go back and forth. Sometimes when I'm in a hurry, I just use the garlic salt. But in this case, I might even just use the garlic salt and the regular garlic. So I'm just gonna chop really quick some garlic for our bread. Oops, wrong thing. All right, let's do a quick chop, chop, chop all day long. Now, sometimes, you know what I like to do when I'm just using a lot of garlic for everything, I would just spend some time just to do fresh garlic and just chop them all up in my little chopper, and then just have it on hand for a few days, and it makes it a lot more easy. And you can just store it in an airtight container. And oh, I want to show you a little gadget I got, which is so cool. Well, maybe not. I found this at the little TJ Maxx or something. I don't even know if they can sell it anywhere else, but it's just a little quick little chopper container that has garlic. That's for garlic, but that's okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm just gonna mince this really fast. I used to make homemade fresh garlic bread, and then I would just freeze it. But I came to find out, it really, these store-bought ones like at Macy's or Walmart or whatever, they are just as delicious, and then it was just a lot easier. So I'm just gonna add that in there. And what I'm gonna do, let me think. Okay, you know what? I'm going to, I was going to, if you know how you want yours to have like parsley all over inside and out, it just looks so pretty when you have that on there. Or you could do it on top. Woo! Okay, so I'm just gonna, I didn't bring a big enough bowl. That's okay. Okay, it's just something like that. Or if you have fresh Italian parsley, it's even better. Yes, even better. So you just take a spoon, and this is room temperature butter, or you can just stick it in the microwave if you don't have room temperature butter. Oh yeah, I spilled olive oil on myself. Okay, and then you just put garlic in between here. Garlic butter or herby butter or whatever we want to call it. It's not a ton of garlic because you're already going to get lots of garlic all over the, there's lots of butter and olive oil. I love it. I'm going to put some on the other side also. So this is like for a big loaf, I would say it's about, it's 1 stick, so a half cup of butter and about 3 or 4 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm gonna put this together. I know there's not as much on the other side, but here I'm gonna wipe off. Okay, and then let's add a little bit more olive oil because I want to drizzle this part on the top. I'm gonna go get me a little drizzler. Okay, hold a second. A little, not drizzler, but one of those things that, you know, a brush, a pastry brush. I can't talk. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it like this. And if you want to be fancy, you could do the diagonal cut. But if I do the diagonal, we're going to have half diagonal. Why not? We'll just put in the basket anyways. So see how I just go diagonally? And it's going to be really pretty pieces. Okay. And then make a little bit more room here and take a big long piece of French bread. I mean, foil. I can't even talk today. And then just carefully put it onto your foil, like that. Okay, and then take your pastry brush and just, you already got some in the middle, so we're gonna put it on top, all around it, like that. Gives me a really yummy, yummy bread. And what I like to do, depending on your dish, of course, I like to also add a little garlic salt. Well, you know what? I already have garlic in there, so I'm going to add a little coarse salt on top. Just add a little extra flavor. And then put some parsley on top. Okay. And then you fold it up, the ends to hold it together. And just roll back a little bit of the foil to show the top, because I want it to like kind of keep the top crusty. Okay, and then I put this on a cooking sheet, and then I'll just stick it in the oven for 375 for about 10-15 minutes, depending on how you like it. It's mostly to warm it up, right? So, oh, there's the bell. I'm gonna take something else out. Okay, so I look over here and I see that my pasta is not ready yet to boil, but okay. So once it starts boiling, it actually only takes like 3 minutes to boil. Let me go turn that off. Okay, so I'm going to let it boil. You know how you make pasta? You just make let it boil, and then you just put in, oh my gosh, put in what you need, and then boil it for only like 2 or 3 minutes, and then drain it, and then you have your pasta ready. So, okay. Maybe what I'll do is, when it boils, I'll do it, and you guys know how to do it, right? Okay, I will come back, take a break. When you come back, we're gonna put it all together, and we're gonna have a delicious meal. So come back. All right, welcome back. I'm so excited. Don't you just love to cook when it's all coming together? So the timer just went off for the bread. So this pasta, I put it in, it's gonna take about a minute and a half. So we'll go ahead and pull out the bread. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So I didn't put it on a cookie sheet. So I'm gonna be a little tricky here. Okay. I'm just gonna plop it on there. Maybe I'll take it out of the foil. That doesn't look real pretty, does it? Okay. There we go. So we've got our bread ready. I think I'm going to take it out. Don't love that. Oh, it's hot. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna roll it up like this, because the pieces are cut up and it's gonna be fine. I'll just roll back the foil a little bit and then put it into my bread basket. Okay, that's not too bad. All right. Oh my gosh, you guys, that looks terrible, right? You know, I wanna do this right, so I'm just going to, never mind. Sometimes I look back at my shoulders, I'm like, what are you doing? Just leave it alone, it's fine. Okay, now we have that. We have our marinated tomatoes. I'm just going to go ahead and chop up my basil for the garnish really quickly. And of course, I don't have my knife out. Woo! Knives out, knives out. Big old knife. The other one is in the sink. Okay, let's just chop this really quick for garnish. So excited. Now I love, oh, that is my pasta. So I love quick meals. So in a way, this meal is pretty much like real time of the show. All right, let me take my pasta, drain it. Sorry, you can't see the moving camera. Okay. So I'm just draining my pasta. I made double, of course, because I have another batch to give it to. But I'm not going to use all of it for this batch because this is only part of a batch. Ooh, okay. My tongs. All right. Let's go ahead and I wonder if the camera can see this. I'll move the pot. Turn this off. I'm with the top pot. I think it's pretty drained now, so I can go like that. All right, let's put the pasta into, so about half of this is going to go into this mixture. I was just thinking that if you really want to, you can use a different pasta, like you can use penne, you could use almost anything for this, and it would be delicious. So this is just a fresh garden tomato pasta on a nice summer day. So I think we need to like mix it around because it's not a creamy sauce, so it's just kind of like sitting here like this. And also we need to add 1.5 cups of Parmesan cheese. This is what's gonna be so good. So about 1.5. I love Parmesan, so that's quite a bit. I'll take some off. Well, the thing is, you put it in here, but you want to like generously put some more Parmesan into each bowl, right? I lost a tomato. Okay, so I think this is good. Just like that, before we serve it. Actually, I'll go ahead and put some in here so I can taste it. I already know it tastes good. Let's put a little bit in here. Oh my gosh, making a mess, Miss Williamson. I want to get some of this, my fresh garden tomatoes on here. Love the tomatoes. Okay, let's put some, so you can add more Parmesan to each individual bowl. And then let's just put some of this basil on top. Okay. Voila. Wait a minute, voila is French. And we are not French, but we are Italian. So I think there's some French influence, right, in Italian food? Why not? Okay. So here we have our pasta, our yummy bread, and I'm going to eat it. Look at that fresh chunk of tomato first, or we can get a full bite. I always wonder, how do you eat pasta? Do you twist it in a fork? They put it on a fork and twist it? Or you can just take a bite. I'm on TV, so I can't get too big of a bite, right? I taste the basil. I smell the basil. I'm gonna add a little salt. So again, you can add your own little salt and pepper each person can individualize. I love pepper. Some people might not like pepper on their pasta, but I love it. And then the bread. Still crusty and see how yummy, but it's still soft in the middle. So good. Perfect meal. Vegan, well, unless you don't eat the cheese, right? So another quick meal for you. I'm going to start making more pasta dishes with different cream sauces or sauces that make it so quick. It's the best. So thank you for watching. Until next time, happy cooking.